Hi, how y'all doing? So the title of this video is A Bigger Conspiracy. The plantation system slash the Willie Lynch system. The Willie Lynch system, the plantation system, is alive and well on planet Earth. Okay? Now this is my opinion only. You don't have to agree with me. Okay? Now what does it have to do with a rapper that's been killed or murdered? Excuse me. I think sometimes when a black man is killed, that you have to dig a little deeper. It's not just a black man gone. I think you have to dig a little deeper. What's different about this murder is that this rapper owned a clothing store. That's what's different. And like I said, this is my opinion on it. You don't have to agree with me at all. Now, first of all, condolences to the family. There's just a lot of sadness, over the internet. So my condolences to the family of this man, and I'm very sorry that all this happened. Now let me go back again from the Civil War to about 1970, even before the Civil War. The Ku Klux Klan and these other terrorists, white nationalists, white supremacist organizations, they would burn down black businesses. Often, they would burn down black churches. They would burn down black schools. Why? Because they didn't want any competition. If a black man had a business, they would burn it down because they didn't want any competition. The white man did not want any competition. I'm not racist, I'm real. So don't say that I'm racist. I'm not racist, I'm real. Okay? And some blacks would mysteriously okay? Some blacks would mysteriously be lynched or die. Now, if you read the testimonies of their children, of these black men who were mysteriously lynched, if you read these testimonies 30, 40 years later, you would see that the white man wanted their land. Sometimes a stream runs in front of the land, and they want that. They didn't want them to have competition with either grocery store or whatever. So the white man would mysteriously lynch or kill these black men, or just make up something stupid, like they looked at a white woman or something, an ugly white woman, okay? They would say something and then they would kill them. Of course, they get their hands dirty because they wanted the land, they wanted to destroy the business, because a business and land represents economic empowerment. That's what it represents. Now, if you go back to the Willie Lynch letter, you have to look that up. If you go back to the Willie Lynch letter, in a nutshell, it means, number one, the instructions are to pit blacks against each other. Pit the light-skinned blacks against the dark-skinned blacks. Destroy all of their houses and land. Destroy their schools if they have any. Why? Because the idea is to keep them as slaves for the next 100, 1,000, 10,000 years. That was the whole idea of the Willie Lynch letter, to keep blacks on the plantation as slaves for the next 10,000 years. Make them forever poor because they won't have any economic empowerment. Burn everything they have. Take all their land. They would be forever dependent upon the white man. They would never have a business. Now, what do we call the plantations now? Big business, okay? Make them forever dependent upon the white man. Make sure they have no businesses. Make sure they get the worst land possible, if they get any. And the white man does not have to get their hands dirty. Okay? Get blacks to kill other blacks. And blame it on gangs. Okay? This whole concept of divide and conquer. They're still dividing and conquer. The Hutus against the Tutus. Divide the Catholic blacks in Africa against the non-Catholic blacks in Africa. divide the English-speaking blacks in Africa against the native, whatever that native language, the Swahili-speaking blacks in Africa. Divide, conquer, get the minerals that are underneath the soil. It's the Willie Lynch letter. It's an age-old tactic. Divide people, conquer people. Divide the blacks, conquer the blacks. Now these powers that be, the puppet masters of the world, the puppet masters of the world system, these uber rich white folks. I don't know if they Jew or Gentile, but they uber rich white folks. They're puppet masters. I know you got a few token blacks in that organizations. Now, they do not care about the hate groups. They don't care about these white supremacist groups. They consider them beer drinking, cigarette smoking, cigar chopping, trailer park trash. Yet the idea is to destroy the black man and make him a forever slave. Make him forever slave on the white man's plantation called big business, without getting their hands dirty. So how you going to do that? Well, you get the blacks to kill other blacks. You get these things called gangs to kill each other. Now, this rapper that was killed, he took his money and created another business in the black community. That is a no-no. To take your money, particularly in the rap game, and empower blacks in the black community. Okay? Now, they don't want to destroy his business. Now, that store represents black economic empowerment. Okay? That is a no-no. Because they want blacks to be forever slaves on the plantation. To have a store that would empower blacks is a no-no. So why not just pay a deranged black man $25,000 to kill him and call it gang related? There could have been other conspiracies. Maybe the Asians wanted to dominate the hip hop clothing market. Maybe they had something to do with it. I don't know. Now the Rodney King riots, the powers that be, these uber rich white folks, took advantage of this Rodney King situation. There were too many black businesses in Los Angeles. Too many. There were too many restaurants, clothing stores, and grocery stores. Too many. They had to destroy them. Now, these uber rich white folks are not going to get their hands dirty, because you got to understand the idea is to make blacks forever slaves on the white man's plantation, slaves to the Asians, slaves to the Indians, the slaves of the world. So just pay the black gangs $15,000, maybe more, to burn down the black businesses in Los Angeles and call it the Rodney King riots. And that's what they did. They burned down restaurants, clothing stores, grocery stores that people had spent 20, 30 years building up. The blacks did it. And you know what? All these stores represented black empowerment, and they had to be destroyed according to the white elite, this white elite. They did not touch the white suburban stores at all. At all. But they had to destroy this black empowerment in Los Angeles during the Rodney King riots. There was no reason to have a riot. No reason at all. There was no reason to have a Rodney King riot. The idea was to destroy the black business. There were too many. Part 2 is next.